Hi, this is Mr. Evans, just going through a video on inventory control charts. So this video will cover these 5 bullet points here, looking at how we interpret an inventory control chart. So what is it? It's a diagram that's used to represent an organisation's stock levels over a period of time. Best way to learn it is to have a look at one, and we'll have a go at interpreting it. So on the vertical axis here we have the stock level, which is the number of units that a business is holding. In this case, the business goes up to 95 units. And here we've got the number of weeks, and the thick line here that comes down represents the level of stock that a business is holding. You can see that they predict fairly consistent sales, because the fact that the line is downward sloping over the weeks represents that the business is selling stuff. And then when we get to here, we've got this big spike in stock levels. That represents that a supplier has made a delivery to us, and the process starts again of selling out of stock, and the reorder comes. So how can we interpret this? Well, there's a few things that we need to understand. The first is this dotted line here that we see when the stock level gets down to 60. So when the stock level gets down to 60, this is the reorder level, at which point the business places an order with their supplier to get more stock. But you'll notice that the actual reorder, the delivery of the stock, doesn't come until some time later. The difference between when the reorder is placed and when the delivery is made is known as lead time. Okay, so the difference between when the reorder is placed and when it's delivered is lead time. Now we can calculate lead time looking at this, and you may want me to do this in an exam. So how would we do it? Well, first of all, we look at when the reorder is placed, and in this case it's placed in week 3. Okay, counting along the bottom here, 1, 2, 3. So the reorder is placed in week 3. Now, how long is the lead time? Well, we have to count the number of weeks it takes between reordering and the stock arriving. So that's 1 week, that's 2 weeks, that's 3 weeks, that's 4 weeks, and the time at which it arrives, week 8, is 5 weeks before the initial order was placed. 5 weeks after, the initial order was placed. So the lead time is 5 weeks. This point here, 25, is also significant, because you'll notice that in theory the business does not want to go below this level of stock. If they know it takes 5 weeks, and that's the difference of time between 60, which is the reordering level, and 25, this business does not want to go below having 25 units in stock. That's known as the buffer stock level. If you think about trains, the buffers at the end of the track will, prevent the train from crashing and causing damage. So in the same way, buffer stock is like the safety stock that an organisation keeps in case of issues, problems, unexpected changes in demand. The last thing that you need to be aware of is the reorder quantity. So the reorder quantity is simply the difference between the lowest level of stock and the highest level of stock. So in this case, the business gets down to 25 units. They reorder and they get up to 95. 95 minus 25 equals 70. So this business is ordering 70 units at a time, and that is their reorder quantity. So, what are the key terms that you need to be aware of? the reorder level, which is the level that triggers the purchase of new inventory. Reorder level, the level that triggers the purchase of new inventory. Lead time, the difference between when that order is placed and when it's actually arrived. The buffer level of inventory is the target minimum level of inventory to be held by a business. And the reorder quantity is the amount of stock that a business orders when they place their order with the supplier. So just a final one on buffer stock. The amount of buffer stock held will depend on things like the business's confidence in their suppliers and the reliability of suppliers, the business's concern about fluctuating levels of demand. I can't think of anything else. So that is inventory control chart. You may well need to do some of those calculations in terms of how long is the lead time, what is the reorder quantity, etc. Okay, so make sure you know how to do that.